for today's make, what we're going to be doing is using 2 yarns held together. And what I've done is just gone through my stash and I've found some Surrey that I had and then a color that I thought would complement it and look well. And here's a little trick that a friend taught me when you're looking for yarn to see if they would go well held together, is to grab 2 pieces, just take them like this and gently just kind of wrap them around your finger and see how they go. Now in this case, the green is definitely going to be the darker color and will probably be what we're mainly seeing, and the Surrey is going to support it, but there are times when the Surrey is going to be stronger, so this will just give you a little bit of an idea to see how they're going to look together. So the yarns that I'm using is I have the Surrey is Emma's yarn, and this is on our beautiful silk Surrey, and then for my fingering weight yarn I have Montana Crochet, and this is the color Juniper. So what I like to do is I actually cake this up and then cake this up and then I cake them together because I really like to work with one large cake. So I'm going to do that, but before I do that, let me tell you about the hook size we're going to be using. So for today's work, we're actually going to be using a size 6 Tunisian crochet hook, and you will need a cable. Now the reason that we're going to need the cable is because we're going to do a little trick as we begin to start this that's going to help make the scarf flip over, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about when we get there. But you do need a cable. It does not need to be this long. This is just the size that I have that goes along with this really lovely hook that I have. So I'm going to cake this up and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I've caked up my yarn together and you can see how different it looks once it's mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and begin my pattern by doing a slip knot, and I'm going to do a chain of 27. So I'm going to just chain just like this, and when I get to that 27 I'm going to pick up loops in the back bump, but I'll show you how to do that. So I have my 27 chains, and what I'm going to do is turn my work now, and I'm going to try to work in the back bumps here. Now starting in the second loop from the chain, because this first hook, the first loop on the hook is going to count as my first loop that we're collecting. I'm going to work into the back bump, yarn over, and pull up a loop just like that. And then I'm going to do that all along, and then I'm going to do a standard return pass when I get to the end. So that's going to be a pull through 1, then pull through 2, just like a standard normal return pass. And then when I come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to set up the repeats for this pattern. So we're back, and I finished my first foundation row, and now I'm going to go through the repeat. Now for the repeat, we're going to have basically striped sections of knit stitch bracketed by a purl stitch. So we're going to do 4 knit stitches for the first round, for the first set. So not including our live loop, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do a purl stitch. So to do a purl stitch, we're going to bring the yarn to the front, go into that loop like we would for a simple stitch, let the yarn come to the back, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to do 4 TKS's again. So remember, for the TKS, we're going between that front and back vertical bar. And the Surrey can make it a little bit difficult, but I think that with practice it becomes easy. Let me get a little bit more yarn. Now for our next stripe, we're going to do our purl stitch. So bring that yarn to the front, then bring it to the back just like that. We're going to do 5 knit stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. And then let me get a little bit more yarn. Then we're going to do our purl stitch again, just like that. Now we're going to do 4 knit stitches. Let's see, that's my purl. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we should have 6 stitches left, and we do. So we're going to do our purl stitch again. So this is going to be again we're going to make a break in the knit stitches, and then we're just going to do our knit stitches. So 4 knit stitches, and then our last Tunisian stitch, just like that. And that's basically the whole repeat for the pattern. So my return pass, standard return pass, pull through 1, pull through 2. I'm going to do this all the way to the end.
And then just repeat this until you get to the next step in the pattern, which I'll come back and show you.
So I want to show you that we've reached a point in the shawl where we're going to do something special. I've basically been doing the same repeat. So we have our live loop, then 4 knit stitches followed by a purl, 4 knit stitches followed by a purl, 5 knit stitches followed by a purl, 4 knit stitches followed by a purl, and then 4 knit stitches in our last Tunisian stitch. So we're at the point now where we have enough of room for where we want to fold this over. So what we're going to be doing is, to make the loop that the scarf fits into, we're going to fold over just like that, okay? But when we start working, we don't want this side to be the wrong side of our work, right? We want this side to be the right side of our work, because otherwise the scarf is just going to look like this when we wear it. So the trick to that is we're going to take we have our scarf facing the wrong way. We're going to go ahead and take our hook off. So I'm just going to take my hook off. I have my cable pulled through, right? So the cable has to be the length, at least the minimum length of your work. I'm going to also now take off the stopper, and we're going to switch sides. So get the stopper off, and then we'll come to this side, put our stopper on. It's also easiest if you do this when it's laying flat, so you don't have to worry about your stitches falling off. And then we'll attach our hook on this side. And so we will have to fasten off our yarn, because our yarn is on this side, and then reattach it on this side. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just fasten off, leave enough in for weaving in my ends. I'm going to bring my yarn to the other side, and I'm just going to use it now as a loop on my return pass. So just like that, I'm going to use it to pull through 1, and then pull through 2, and then pull through 2, just like for a standard return pass. And I'm going to do this all the way to the end, and then I'm going to go ahead and just repeat. I'm going to go ahead and just repeat the same pattern repeat over again. So I'm going to do my knit stitches and my purl stitches in that same alternating repeat, and that's all going to be in the pattern as well. So I'm going to finish this, and then all I'm going to do is keep going. We're going to keep going on this till we get to the length that we want for the scarf. We will go back and seam this. So we'll seam this there so that it'll fold over. And then I'll come back really quickly and show you how we're going to do this first row. And I will come back at some point and show you how we're going to do the seaming as well. So go ahead and do your return pass. One thing that you can do is you can also leave a really long length of yarn here. I might undo this and go back and do that. And then I can just use this for weaving in my ends. So I will redo this, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the next row. So I finished my return pass, and this kind of looks like a hot mess, but bear with me, this will all make sense. I did go back and leave a long tail, so it'll make it easier for seaming for that side. So remember, we're just going to do our repeat. I'm not going to do the whole row with you, but I'm just going to show you what you're going to be looking at. So you can see all your loops there, and you're going to just go in and do your knit stitch. Remember, this first one is going to be 4, 3, and 4. And then we have our purl stitch, so we're going to do our purl right here. So exactly the same stitches and exactly the same space, and this is 4 again. And then again, we're going to do our purl stitch. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm just going to keep repeating. And again, I'm going to go for the length of the shawl. The pattern will tell you how long for each, and it'll also give you yardages, so you'll know exactly what to do. But I'll work on this, and I'm going to come back and show you the next steps. So I've made it to my last row, and I want to show you how we're going to do the bind off. So remember, we just did the same repeat of knit stitches and purl stitches across the way. Now we're going to follow that for our bind off. So we're going to do a knit stitch, and then pull through the live loop on your hook. That's how we do a bind off. Then I'm going to do another knit stitch, yarn over, and then pull the second loop through the first loop on the hook. Do the same thing, just like that, and we're going to go just like that. Now for the purl stitch, we're going to do a purl stitch bind off. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front and do a purl stitch, and then slip that stitch through the other stitch. So again, yarn over, pull through there, and we're just going to keep doing this. Let me do one more purl stitch with you. So bring the yarn to the front, go in for a purl stitch, yarn over, and then pull through both, just like that. And then we're going to just keep going. So I'm going to keep going till I do the end. I do like to do the last Tunisian stitch when I do my bind off. So I'm going to work this all the way to the end. Then I'm going to go ahead and block it. Now I haven't seamed up our little area. Let me show you that real quick. I have not seamed it up, and it's just like this. But when we come back after we block, I have that length of yarn here. I'm going to go ahead, and once it's blocked and it's nice and straight, we're going to attach it not to this row here, but to the actual first row on this right side. Okay, so I'm going to work on that, finish my bind off, block this so it's going to open up beautifully. Take a peek and look, see how it looks now, because it's going to look much better once it's blocked. This curl will be gone. Then I'll meet you back and show you how we're going to seam it. And then we have the option to put on some buttons as well here, decorative buttons, and I'll show you how to do that also. Okay, all the scarf is finished blocking, and now I've come back to show you guys how we're going to do the seaming, and then I'll come back afterwards and show you how to do the buttons. So I have my tag that I left here, and if you didn't, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and fasten on some yarn, and with the tag, I'm using both the suri and the fingering weight, but feel free to use just the finger weight if you want to. It's easier just for me to do both. Now when we seam, we're going to be working into the chain spaces. We're going to be doing the mattress stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to this first row here. So not the last row of the wrong side, but the first row of the right side. So what I like to do is I'm just going to move this over so that we're starting into that same space that I want. And then I'm going to come over on this side, and we'll just start at the bottom there. So we're gonna just make everything line up. And what I like to do too is make sure that these stripes are all lined up here, just like that. And I'm gonna go into, so from here, I'm gonna just go back in, go right in there. Actually, that's the first stitch. And then when we look here, I'm gonna go right into this first knit stitch, just like that. Then we're going to go back onto the side, and again we're working along this row. I'm going to go into that side there, just like that, and then I'm going to match on this side. So where I came out of, I'm going to go back in and then go out, just like that, right? And pull my yarn a little bit, and you'll see that as you work this, it's going to fold in. So again, working into that first row there. And I'm just going to keep doing this, and eventually you're just going to get a nice line like that. That's going to be nice and neat. And remember, you're always going to go back into the stitch that you came out of on the opposite side, and then work out to the next stitch. Same thing here. We're going to go back into this side and come out here, just like that. And then I'll just weave this in, and then again, just pull it tight when you're done so you can get a nice clean edge, just like that. So I'll do this, then I'll come meet you back and show you how to do buttons. If you want to do buttons, it's optional. So we're going to go ahead and attach our buttons onto our scarf, and remember, these are optional and they are just for a little fun effect. I have my buttons here, and the first thing we're going to want to do is make sure that the needle that we have will fit through, because it can be a little bit awkward if it can't. So this will fit through. It is a little bit snug, but it should work just fine. For placement of the buttons, I'm going to do 3, and again, totally up to you on what you want to do. And I'm going to put one here, I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here, just so that we kind of have a little bit of variation. I could do it even further if I wanted to. I could add more buttons if I wanted to, but I think that's where I'm gonna let these rest right now with the contrast. I think silver buttons would have been really pretty with this colorway. So many different options. Let me grab some yarn and thread my needle, and I'll come back and show you what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one, and there's 2, you can see right here, there's 2 little pulls right here, and you can put it like this if you want to, if you want them running parallel, or you can put it like this. I actually think I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go in from the back, and I'm going to just put my needle through right where I want it to be, and I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to leave a little bit of an end just to tie in. Then I'm just going to go in to the other side and do the exact same thing and just pull through. Whoops, and it pulled a little bit too loose, so I'm going to just pull it a little bit tight. Then I'm going to go back into that same hole, not that one. I'm going to come back into the first one. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. And it is going to get a little bit harder, so what I'll sometimes do is I'll take the needle and put it on a flat surface and just push it through to help me, like that. And again, we have our ends here, and I'm going to go back on this side and come right out. Now, you could do more if you want, but I think that's going to be plenty for me for what I want. So then I'll just go ahead and we'll tighten this up, and I'll tie these together. And it's really, really simple. Again, if you wanted to do more, you can do more. This is totally your call if you want to go back in for a third or even a fourth time. But I feel really comfortable with this, so I'm going to do just that. I will do 4 to 5 knots though, and just to make sure it's nice and snug. And that's basically it. I'll trim that, and then I'll go ahead and just put the other buttons on to match. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm also working on a DK weight version, so I'm going to finish that. I'll show you all 3, and then you'll get to see how beautiful these all look. And it's such a fun, simple pattern, and that little trick of switching right here so that you get the front facing on both sides, it's a lot of fun. So finish this up, I'll put my buttons on, and then I'll meet you back to show you the final products. So here's the final version of the green scarf that I made that you're going to see in most of my pictures. I did also make a white version that you see me putting on with the black buttons, but I think this one is my favorite, so I wanted to share it. So the way that this works is it's really easy. You're going to drape this around your neck, and then what you'll do is with the loop that we've created, you're going to just slide that scarf through. So I like to take my hand and slide it through just like that. And what this does is it creates a nice cozy neckline without too much constricting your neck, which I really love. I use buttons that you'll see right here from Tinker's Hollow, so I will put a link in the description box for them. These are actually really beautiful handmade wooden buttons, and you can actually block with this on. Not that I would want to, but you can, so it makes it really, really pretty. And I love how this color goes along with this green. So the pattern is now available in both Ravelry and Payhip. I'll put the links to purchase it down below in the description. I hope you found this really, really helpful. I love this. I finished this in February, and I've worn it so much since then, and I can't actually wait for the fall so I can start wearing it again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make your own Priska shawl. If you do, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see it. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Every thumbs up helps me grow. And please do subscribe if you want to keep watching video tutorials. Thanks, and happy crocheting!